This is Dating with Reptar, and I am Reptar.
This is your boy Jose. You know the vibes. Hey.
Okay, I'm Maya. That's it.
And if you don't follow me already on Instagram, I am a Reptar _Love Jones, R3PTAR _ LOVEJONEZ 2. And we are on YouTube. Search, which is Dating with Reptar. We are on Facebook at Dating with Reptar. Oh, and I'm also on the podcast for wrestling, FTW Podcast. Hey. Hey. Hey, y'all. Hey, how you doing?
What it is, y'all?
Yeah.
Hello.
I was waiting for
Cypher
someone
don't
to
get
be like,
gas.
I was, where's there?
Cypher don't get
Let's get it. Let's go.
50-50 relationships.
Oh, fuck. Here we go. I'm out.
No, come back. Roll back to the chat.
Green flag.
You cannot be Homer Simpson in this chat thing.
Yeah, no. I need to hear talk about it. What do we call 50-50? If someone opens the gate with, so you got this one, I got the next one. How do you approach that?
The first date or the first thing?
Even the first date, because I'm
the
I have
first
a
date.
position where
Green flag.
If I'm over here minding my business and you come into my life and you're trying to ask me out, you don't. I'm not saying you have to take me to a Five Diner. I'm okay with Cheesecake
A
Factory.
Five Diner, we love those. Those are cheaper. What are you talking about?
5-star.
Get you a good.
And I'm just like, I'm like, if it's the very first date, if it is the very first date, and like I said, I'm over here minding my business, have no idea who you are, and you're over here like, let's go out on a date, however you want to word it, and be like, okay, it's like, but then you want to split it, so you're paying me. Like, why would I waste my own money when you asked me to be outside and I was over here minding my business?
First date is always on the man. I don't care.
First date is on the guy. Always time.
Technical.
If you ask me out, you should pay.
Go ahead, Eddie. You got a bodega. Technically, everything that you bring into the date is already free for you. Come into the picnic with the chips.
Listen, I'm ready. I got it.
So, he said, just throw it on my bill, y'all.
Me and my shorty started going out in February. Our first date, technically, before I popped the question, she took me out because it was for my birthday.
That don't count.
Different.
That don't count.
It still counts.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count. I'm gonna tell you why.
The first date, y'all.
Your birthday should not be a date. Your birthday is your birthday, and they were really given for your birthday. They was an Indian given. There's a difference. That was not a first date. That's not a first date. If somebody takes me out for my birthday, that is my birthday. That's not the date.
Okay.
You want to go about technicalities? That's the technical.
Okay.
If it was your birthday, and if every birthday dinner I paid for was the day, that should have gotten significantly more ass.
Understand? Understand? That means I like you. That's the part of I like you. Me paying for your birthday, that's me liking you. You paying for my birthday, that's you liking me. The actual date should be after that because that's a special day you're supposed to be nice on. Supposed to because you only get one birthday a year.
How long?
But wait, did you ask her on the second date?
Of course.
Did you ask her?
So then
that one? Yeah, that's
of course.
So then there's no technicalities. There is none. Your technical first date was the after your birthday.
The one you paid for.
I think that's something that should be determined for those individual couples. There are some couples who are very independent and or identify with their income. That you have the boss woman and the boss man, and they're just like, I'm gonna hold my own. I think in the beginning, if y'all just hanging out like that, one date here, one date there, because I'm very big on spoiling my man. So I don't find it wrong that every now and then I pay for a date or I do something for my partner. However, if the conversation is always going to be, I want a traditional husband or a traditional wife, like many people tend to have now that it's like, oh, I need my girl to be home cooking. And if you want a traditional partner, you need to be a traditional partner. Traditional partner meaning the man provides financially and the woman provides at home. So if we've had way too many conversations where guys are just like, oh, I want the girl to be home. I want her to be a traditional wife. But then you also want her to pay 50-50. Like, that's not what your grandma was doing. Your grandmother was home. She was cooking. She was cleaning. She was raising the kids. You were out making the money and you was paying the bills. So you can't do both. You can't say you need to have your degree. You need to be able to go to your job and you need to be home cooking at the same time. Like, you need to pick which conversation and what structure you want in your relationship. You can't do both. So I think that's a big conversation that you need to have with your partner, and both should oblige by that rule.
Right. There should be an agreement. I mean, in my opinion, it starts when it comes to moving in together, when you have an agreement on, like, what do I want to do in this house? What do I not want to do in this house? What do I expect to be done? What do I expect to take on myself? Like, that should be a conversation that should be had well before you're
right. And DC put in the chat, we got to learn why back in the day women were stay-at-home moms. They had no choice. Yeah, I mean, down generations, women couldn't work, women couldn't vote. But even past that time, that was a thing. I'm not going to get into the whole biblical portion of it, of what the structure was. Yeah, there's slavery times. There's a whole bunch of different reasons why things were that way. But that is still the traditional structure. So if that's the mindset or what you're throwing out there, then you need to oblige by the regulation and the structure that was there.
Yeah.
But also, like you said, remember that was before the whole women inequality thing. So that when that standard was set, it was like for a while before it took time to change. Because
I understand that.
No, but I'm saying at the time then, trades or the man always had a real job where it did fall back on the family, or the family had, like, good benefits, or where he knew the house was going to be good no matter what happened to them. Because nowadays you can't, like you just said, you can't want one thing and do the other. But also, like you said, if you're gonna do that where you want the traditional, then y'all both need to sit down and come to agreement, like y'all said, and write out what's gonna be what. Like, who role is who.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that needs to be a conversation. However, I'm very much black and white, but I see multiple perspective of it. You can also have both people working and the incomes do two different things.
Yeah,
one income could be doing.
It can just be that we are sharing responsibilities wherever that fits.
Right, and it doesn't have to be that. That definitely could be the thing, because I know a lot of couples being working in finance. Like, you have one partner whose income takes care of the expenses, and the other partners take care of, like, vacations, the fun stuff, the savings. Right, you're both working, you're both building up credit scores and all that stuff, so you guys can do future things together. So there's a way of structuring it, but how things are worded and the way people put, like, a prominent stamp on certain things, like, if that's what you're looking for, you also need to be able to do that counterpart role.
Right. I think that goes without saying. Like, whatever it is you're expecting, you should be able to do your part of that.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
In every aspect of your relationship, whatever it is you're expecting, you should expect to do the other part. That's exactly how that works.
But also,
how that comes into the 50-50, it's like that 50-50 can depend on whatever your relationship calls for. If you guys want to plan for, for example, a family, maybe your 50-50 looks like, I want my wife to focus more on this and I'll focus more on that. Or if your focus is traveling and having properties everywhere, maybe you should both have jobs and your focus is somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
The 50-50 doesn't have to be categorical. It can just be whatever your relationship calls for.
Right. Or be prepared for the 50-50 to be. Everybody can work in the household, but the man still says he's paying for it.
The income's
that normal. Yeah. Like, I feel like that's normal.
In my head, I don't get it.
I saw everybody's face do the same thing. I was waiting for Maya to do the finger trick on her nose, but everybody's face did the same thing. Be prepared for those conversations when the man and or the woman says, we all can get money in this house, but I'm still taking care of everything.
If everyone in said relationship is okay with that, by all means, go.
No. It's not even okay. They walk to your face and say this to you.
But again, it's a two-part thing. If I'm not comfortable, it's my turn to dip out. That's
but it should be the
first. I agree with that. So no, if you turn around and go, okay, cool, then that's not your dynamic.
Also,
it should be the person who's being told, saying that they're responsible. It should be that person. it shouldn't be the woman that or whoever saying, I'm going to make my own money, but you got to pay for everything. It got to be, I'm saying that I'm paying for everything.
No. That's,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly what I said. I said
But I'm saying even then,
instead,
even after someone presents that, I still got to agree to it. Because I may not like that. I may not like the fact that you have that power over me now. I may not like that dynamic.
Yeah,
and I should be like, nope, I don't like that.
But that's a big conversation here too, because sometimes people say it because they do want to have some type of control.
And right, because you know what, that same person will turn around later and be like, well, I offered X, Y, and Z, and I'm the good person. And I'm going, we just different on what we saw.
You're still dipping your toe into the negativity pool. It goes back to, are you Indian giving or are you really giving? You have to pay attention.
That's what I'm saying. The intentions behind it are important.
But even beyond suspicion, like even if I'm not suspicious
still,
of
why you
being in the wrong context, like I may not be comfortable with that kind of dynamic, even if I'm not suspicious of it. You may be giving out of the kindness of your heart, but I just don't like the idea of someone having control over that aspect of my life. That may not be about you. That may just be, I don't like that.
There are ways that you can make that work for sure. Like for instance, my boy, him and his wife, they have it set up where he's paying everything. He takes care of shit. But when it comes down to how she wants to just randomly spend money and just buy shit, she has to work and make her money to buy the extra shit that she decides she want to splurge on. But he takes care of all the bills. He takes care of everything when it comes down to their finance situation outside of whatever shit she may also want to splurge on. That does not mean he doesn't spend money on her. That just means that any extra shit that she wants to get for herself, she has to go and get. Meaning she has to work for it. And I honestly understand and respect
agreement. That's wonderful.
If that's the agreement, that was what they talked about.
That's the biggest thing. That it really just comes down to both people agreeing about the dynamic that's being held. Because at the end of the day, let's be honest, this country is getting way too expensive to live in, and the average people are making a third or maybe even half of what you need to make in order to live comfortably. And that's just comfortable of like your bedroom and your toilet is maybe 6 feet away. Like,
right. They separated
by a barrier. There's people making six figures and still paying and still living paycheck to paycheck. And I see this shit every freaking day. And it's just like, you got people making well over 6 figures that may have high credit scores and they're still in massive amount of debt. So it's just like, maybe it is getting to that point.
Back then you said it. One income could hold down the whole household. Now it's like, niggas gotta have a job.
You have to have
hustle.
Especially in New York City.
The big thing is also like, is it multiple incomes coming from one person or multiple income coming from the multiple people in the household? That's a big different thing, because now you in a hustle mode type of generation. Like you said, that you got your main job, your hustle job, the job that brings you royalties and all types of other stuff.
Isn't everything per couple?
Yeah.
Basically, still goes to the conversation. What's being
change.
said to each other.
Yeah, there's no specifically right answer.
You gotta definitely let it be known. You can't just be doing things.
Yeah, you can't throw that responsibility on somebody else.
Because let me tell you how important that is. Because people oftentimes come in with the mentality, it's like you're entitled for the other person to pay for all your bills. Meanwhile, you're over here doing what you want to do, but you're not contributing in other aspects of the relationship. That's where I feel like that. That's where I feel like when it comes to that sense of entitlement, in some cases, some people be feeling like you're going into a relationship, you're in a talking phase, and some people have that mentality where they're coming in and thinking, oh, well, I need you to pay all the bills. I'm looking for X, Y, and Z, and it's like,
you looking for a sponsor.
To have that conversation.
You looking for a sponsor.
You looking for a sponsor.
Listen. Tierra Marie said, "I need a sponsor."
And look where that got her.
Have that conversation.
Look, she owed money.
But like, when do we have that conversation about what my ideal relationship looks like? If we're on date one and I'm like, listen, I don't work for nobody, and that's not what I do. Like, is that turning someone off, or is that an appropriate thing to do? Because me personally, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't say out the gate that like, this is how I expect my finances to run. That seems like a like, at what point do you bring that up?
we started this question, I was answering specifically about that first date. So I was just like, if this is the first date and you ask me about ask me out on the first date, like it's just my normal is like, oh, okay, you'll pay. But with that being said, like if we continue to date, like I personally like a man who's already a provider, but I have no problem pulling out my card and paying for you, easy peasy. And I've done that before. But like if you ask me out on that first date, I'm just like, I'm one of those people like, I just met you and you want me to split shit with you, like my pussy will dry up. But with that being said,
we'll be right back after our sponsors.
Wow.
Yeah, the sponsor, which is
the commercial. I feel like
you're not paying for dates isn't providing, right?
No, it's if you ask me out on the first date and we're going to go get ice cream, you should be able to afford to buy me an ice cream. Also,
this is going to be able to afford your own ice cream.
Like she definitely said that she had no problem doing that, but she said
it's where the responsibility.
If the person is doing the effort to pursue you. If the person is putting in the effort to pursue you and it's just like, yo, I want to go out, I need to see you, then el que invita paga. Like, that's what I grew up on.
I know.
Even if it was friends, if my friend's parents was just like, oh my God, we're going to the movies. We would love for Melody to go. And then it's just like, but can you cough up $30? It's like, you invited my daughter to go with y'all. Like, if y'all didn't have the money to cover my daughter, then because you don't know what the other person.
It's about having no responsibility.
That's absurd. If I invite a friend out, especially if I'm inviting a friend and saying, "Yo, you want to come hang?" That's not offering that I'm going to pay for you. This is where we got to understand that a lot of shit is just unrealistic expectations, and people are creating these cultures in their own head that really Black people never really subscribed to in the first place. But the point that I was making earlier is that paying for your date is not being a provider. Paying for your date is literally, like you made clear when you said, if it doesn't, whatever, your pussy gonna dry up. Paying for your date is literally just paying for pussy.
It's very different for like my homegirl or my platonic guy friend to be like, let's hang out as friends versus a romantical date who's pursuing me romantically. So that's a whole different thing. Provider mentality is a little different. I was saying,
if he's telling me let's hang out, it's not a date.
Yeah, it's not a date.
Yeah.
But like a friend, like, hey, you want to hang out? Yeah, I'll pay for myself. Like, I'll pay for my friends too. Like, it just depends on the situation. But I was speaking specifically on a first date scenario where someone I didn't know asked me out on a date.
Which again, if you say let's hang out, that's not a date.
Yeah,
right. The words are I want to take you out.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
It's the words.
That's different. Now,
that's a communication.
What I was going to say is like when it comes to predator, if we are in a relationship, this will vary. Everyone will be different in this. I'm like, I personally like a provider, a man who has a provider mentality. I do not expect the person I'm dating be like, I'm not going to go to him and be like, pay all my bills. I do not expect that. It would be nice if they try to offer, I can turn it down or whatever, or like something that's different. I'm not going to give my power to a man. Like I'll still have my job, I'll still work, but I would want someone who would have that provider energy mentality because that's just the culture that I was personally raised in. I understand this does not apply to anybody, but I can pay my own rent now, which I do. I live by myself. I can pay for my own meals. I can pay for my meal and yours. And I can do that whenever I want to do that. I can do that when I do that all the time with my friends. But if a man is like pursuing me romantically, like you can't be like draining me. Like if I'm just getting to know you and you want to go on a date, I'm like, I want you to do for yourself what I already do for myself. And if you already can't like afford to buy me an ice cream cone, it's not going to work out because I like to do Five Diner stuff and you can only do McDonald's.
You're not even meeting my standards that I do for myself.
Yeah, it varies for everybody, but you can't bash somebody for. There are guys out there that will gladly accept the woman that's like, you got to pay all my bills, and they'll do that. Like we can't pretend that doesn't exist. I'm not one of those people. Like I'm not going to be like, pay all my bills, but like. I'm not going to negate it does exist, and there are guys that do like that.
My issue with some of the things is, especially when it comes to that first date, or just like how people try to approach relationships in general. In the beginning, it's just like, I need a person to pay my bills. And it's just like, ma'am, I don't even know your last name. Like, why is that the mentality of people coming in already expecting somebody to be the provider? And I don't even know if I like you. Like, granted, if the first date happens and you want to pay for it, cool. I'm always prepared. If I grew up and I was raised that if you don't have money, you don't go out.
That's right.
Period. Because God forbid something happens before we get there and you lose your wallet. Now we sitting here with like 2 fucking ducks, not knowing what the fuck to do. And God forbid I gotta sit there. Not fine, but like no, and that's fine. But it's just like I'm thinking about all types of circumstances. Yeah. I've been on a date where a nigga pissed me off so much that I paid for my own shit and left and got an Uber. Like you're not gonna put me in a predicament that now it's just like, well, I was that I'm stuck, and that's not the thing. And that was always something that was embedded in me. It's like if you're planning to go out, you need to be able to pay your own way. You feel me? Yeah. And I tell people immediately, whether it's friend, family, or a date, it's just like, oh, I want to go out, and it's just be like, yo, this is a tight week. I don't feel comfortable going out. If you then move forward and just be like, don't worry about it, baby, I got it. I've done it with friends where it's just like my friends are just like, yo, Monday's tight. And it's like, no, I got you. And vice versa. So if that's the conversation afterwards, and it's just like, I'm letting you know up front that that's a thing. It's just like, yo,
that's your choice after they say they cover you.
You feel that's your choice.
The thing. Covering people, I just did that at Dave and Buster's on Wednesday. Okay, I covered 4 people because I wanted everybody to be out and go outside. Yet Maya wasn't even that expensive. I only paid for 3 because one of them already had chips on it. Thank Jesus, won't he do it? But anywho, I will say
that don't do it.
To piggyback off of not going out the house with money, absolutely. I am 100,000% behind that because I don't like it could be a date, a hangout, chill.
That's
even in
the
the park.
When
you walk in the park, you spend $10. Stop.
You can't go outside to breathe without being charged 150.
At the same time, I always ask: are we splitting? Are you paying? What's going on? Am I by myself? Let me know so that I know what I'm doing, because I'm not going out there with no money.
I'm also not agreeing to go to a 5-star restaurant knowing that I only got enough for 3.
Something that I can't afford.
$100 from Hell's Kitchen Steak, and I can't pay it. Absolutely not. I cannot do that. And mind you, I've done it where I've been broke, and I say, look, these 6 weeks of summer, I am broke because after school does not get paid from July to August. Can you not take me out unless you are willing to pay for me? If you cannot, that's okay. I'm cool. We can sit in front of my house and sit and get bug spray and talk all fucking day. I don't care.
That was going to be my next
thing. Just remember, you can ask. If the man gets offended of you asking him because he automatically gives, it goes back
red
to
flag.
Indian giving or real giving.
Yeah, and that was going to be my thing, and that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing that I honestly can't stand, is that people come into the mindset that once you meet somebody, they got to start providing left and right. And it's just like, that whole list that came out on Instagram of like all these different places that people can't take you to. And it's just like, man,
that shit pissed me off.
That did nothing but piss me off. And it's just like, why are you so entitled?
Why did Cheesecake Factory get the most?
Your outfit is from Rainbow. Your outfit is from Rainbow, and you can't go to Cheesecake Factory? Are you stupid or are you dumb? But if you're cheap with yourself, you're giving that out. You not paying for stuff for yourself. I need a man to pay my bills. Can you pay your bills?
Absolutely.
Or do you always have to buy? Do you always have to ask somebody for a handout?
That's the point.
They do
so
that.
This is not charity. The same way that people get pissed off, like, oh, he's only trying to take me out because he wants pussy. Are you only asking for a date because you need a bill paid? Like, you need to really get it together. And I'm very big, bro.
Yeah, if you
are you hungry? Are you starving? I'm gonna need you to learn. Right, I'm gonna need you to learn how to meal prep and stretch that dollar. Again, this is coming from a financial coach. Like, I'm an ass.
A lot of people are dating for the wrong reasons. That's why.
I know, and
I agree on that.
And that's what I'm saying. People come into this thing trying to find a way to fill a void, and it's just like, sweetheart, I've seen people post online like, oh, this guy took me out, but he didn't buy something for my son. And it's just like, he's not out dating your son. You're responsible to feeding your child.
But if you meet a dude that's on the same energy,
I like her.
And you just like, actually, I have the same values. When I take you out, I expect to also provide for your son. Then you met the right person. You have that energy.
Right, but
Just
but
like do
that's
that if you want
something.
to, but you cannot be mad at somebody
But
that's like that's not
don't
what I signed up
expect
for.
that shouldn't be an expectation the first moment I meet you, bro. I don't even know if I like you. I don't know your last name. I don't know any of this stuff. We are both getting to know each other. So why am I sitting here telling you that you have to take me to Hell's Kitchen and I've never been able to take myself there? Absolutely not.
Have you ever seen that video where the guy is like, I think he was gonna pay for like the birthday girl, but the birthday girl brought like,
I don't like that either. They paid for his wife and the birthday girl, and everybody else got crazy. Nah, they bugging the hell out for that. And I'd be sitting there as the wife, just be like, y'all are all broke. My husband is paying for. Y'all don't know what we got to take care of at home. Y'all not paying for my expenses. You're not doing that. Absolutely not. And that's why from the very beginning, before anybody orders anything, I'm asking, are we splitting it or everybody putting up their card? Because y'all can pay together as a party of 7. Nah, I will pay for my own bill. I don't care.
Word.
I will go out and get a salad and pay for mine.
You a red flag.
Yeah, nah. I've seen people who run up the bill and be like, everybody paid. No, I'm not splitting and you got 35 hors d'oeuvres.
Run up the bill and ain't got no money. Yes.
Rip up bills.
They pay for their own. I don't have people like that, but I've seen people that is just like, I got 30 drinks. I don't even drink. I drink water. I'm not paying for your 30 drinks.
I hate those people.
I'm not paying for your 30 drinks. I'm paying for my
point in my life where when I go out, there's usually only 6 people, and I'm real close with them, and it's not that deep. So even if that one person orders like 4 drinks, you're like, hey. First of all, let's talk about why you ordered 6 drinks. We're gonna talk about that later. And second of all, fine, we got you. The big it's 18 folks deep dinner that's not prepaid.
No,
people didn't come with their own ticket. I'm not even going. I'm not gonna be there.
No. I'm sending you that $60 per person ahead of time.
That's why
I'm not counting heads. What did you order? I'm not doing all of that.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Split my bill. Give me my check.
Yeah.
Those of y'all that been around for my birthday, what do? Send y'all tell y'all how much it is, what the bill gonna be, and what we need to have in your pocket.
Listen,
we're not gonna do that.
I'll be real quick to send people the menu too. Figure out what you're going to pick and make sure that you got enough to cover it. I don't even like going to restaurants that don't have the price on the menu. I need to know what I'm about to spend.
Oh, you see $2 signs.
I'm checking the menu because I'm a fatty. I want to know before I go.
You think that's crazy? How about you go to a birthday party, right? And then the birthday girl, she's the one that put the whole the bill on her, like her Amex. I'm like, wait a second. Like that should be blowing my mind, but I mean, we
pay our own bills for our birthday.
But she pulls out the gold Amex.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I've done that a couple of times, only because it's a thing where I'm like, I don't want this to be a conversation, and I know my people.
Nah, I've dealt with that situation.
So let me just do this now, and I can handle my friends separately. I would rather this not be a thing later because she only drink Don Julio, and he only drink, Espolon.
But this is why everybody needs to pay for their own way.
And I'm not trying to have them.
My whole thing, if it's a prefix, everybody pay for that part. What you get outside of that is on your tab.
It's on you.
Don't ask me no damn question.
It's on you.
There's a lot of independent women here that are okay with paying. They're okay with splitting and paying the full bill. So with that being said,
I didn't say I was okay with it, but go ahead. I'm gonna let you go.
If anything, you are okay with it.
I personally am okay with it, but I also have been the provider in same-sex relationships where I don't mind that role. So I don't know if you can take that with a grain of salt. Is what I'm saying.
You're okay with it. You're okay with it because you pay for the bill no matter what. You're not gonna make yourself. At the end of the day, you still are paying for the bill even if he doesn't have it. So you're okay with paying for it, whether if he gets pussy or not, whether if you cut him off or not, whether if you stop talking to him or not. You still got it because you are independent.
I am not gonna sit here and act like I'm the spokesman on behalf of all men because let's be honest. Some of us ain't shit. And some of us are about our shit. Okay? Let me just put it out there right here, right the fuck now. On Jump Street. I'm not going to sit here and cap for nobody. What I will say, though, I'm only going to speak on behalf of myself. Right? This whole 50-50 shit. I'm going to say it right now. I'm a firm believer that I feel like there needs to be a level of communication in terms of what that looks like for you and what that looks like for the other person. I am a firm believer that I want to be someone that's a provider. But if there's days where I can sit here and rely, and there's days where I can rely on my partner, that's a good feeling because we've had the conversation about it, right? But at the end of the day, I just feel like, yes, I'm going to be the one to provide, but I also want to make sure that we are both on the same level playing field at all times, and that is something that is communicated all throughout the relationship, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. We are always communicating effectively beforehand. I'm not making no assumptions. I'm always asking before I act, because if I sit here and just act and don't think, then that's a problem, right? That throws off the dynamic entirely. So I'm only thinking about having myself. Some people will probably go in the deep end with the complete opposite, but I cannot speak on behalf of all men. So, but that's for me, like, handle your business, and you stand on your business, and you do what you need to do at the end of the fucking day.
What about financially? What about the financial part?
I'm gonna do my part. I'm going to do my part, whatever that looks like, because everyone's finances are different. I'm going to stand on my business regardless, and I'm not going to have my level of finances dictate what type of man I am. That's something that I'm not. That's something that's not going to be done because.
But if you ask her out on the first date, are you going to pay? Huh? Are you going to pay if you ask her out on the first date?
I'm going to pay. Yes, I am going to pay on the first date because that's something that I know. I've been taught.
Listen. On behalf of Jose, on our first friend date, he paid for it.
You have to take everything with a grain of salt. And what I mean by that is that understand that circumstances can change. You can walk into a relationship where a man is making whatever the hell he's making. He can be making six figures and be that provider. God forbid something happens. I'm very big on having your own financial independence as a woman because of situations like that. We've grown up with single moms. We've grown up with dads getting sick, dads dying. And it's my mom. I had both my parents growing up, but then randomly at 18, my parents split. My mom was not prepared for that. She was very much the traditional wife. Even though she worked, she was not making what my dad was making. So now you're sitting here trying to continue a lifestyle or just even to be comfortable on something that you no longer have that was provided before you, right? And that's just a situation of just divorce. But God forbid your partner gets sick. Now it's just, finances is usually the number one reason why people get divorced. God forbid something happens and it's just like, nah, I can't be with this person because I don't have the lifestyle anymore. And it's just like, were you with the person because of the lifestyle or the actual person? What were you choosing? What were you making a promise to? You know what I'm saying?
Where's the line that separates those two?
There you go.
It's
only because at some point I'm agreeing to this person and I'm also agreeing to the relationship that we agreed to. So when at the point where you're still the same person, but that relationship that I agreed to has dwindled,
right?
Am I justified in being like, I don't want this anymore? You're still you,
but that makes it circumstantial because now if you're only with me because of what I'm making and what I can provide, then you're not standing on the vows that you made if you get married, where it's just like through sickness and death, through riches, through poor. God forbid I lose my ability to work and now I can't make that. You feel me? We have a lot of people. Shit, look at the fucking pandemic. It was no one's fault, but people lost their jobs. You had a lot of people that did not get sick, people who were vaccinated, people and everything, and jobs got shut off. Now are you saying because the whole world shut down, I can't be with this person? If you're only with somebody because of what they could have provided for you. But that's what I'm saying. That's why. That's why that line.
Including that, meaning that's not the only reason I'm with you, but without it, that's a good 50% that's gone.
And that's what I'm saying. There's a circumstantial because if that percentage is that high, you leaned on that circumstance. You leaned on.
In my experience, relationships kind of ebb and flow, and that sometimes it's all love holding us together. We don't have a lot going on elsewhere. Like, yeah, I love you, I choose you. Sometimes it's Pokemon necessity. Sometimes it's about the fact that like we are here for each other on that level. Sometimes it's a little trauma based, but like the relationship ebbs and flows and what we need. What keeps us together is that we choose each other. But if for some reason we're in that phase of our relationship and you're not providing your part of that, whatever that was,
right? But that's what I'm saying.
I can't bash somebody for being like, I can't do this anymore. Not because I don't love you as a person, and that's not why I was with you. However, this relationship was not based on just love. So when you're not doing that anymore, I got to go.
Right, but I'm gonna give you the devil's advocate. God forbid something happens to me as a female and I can't put out and I can't give you sex.
If that was a part of our agreement, then I should be justified in being elsewhere.
Something happens to you as a person that's completely out of your control and it's not something that can be fixed.
Counts. For me, that counts the same way. this relationship is now different. You are different, and this is now different. I don't owe you that kind of loyalty if you're a different person now.
I see what you're trying
I can respect
to do,
you,
baby,
but you can't force me to hold on to that.
If you're choosing your partner, it definitely changes after you marry somebody, right? Like you're choosing this person and you're saying on these vows, like, God forbid you in a horrific accident and your person gets burnt in a house fire. Now are you like, I can't be with this person no more because he's burnt up and he's different? But that's what I'm saying.
Maybe.
So it's
if
just
that's
like,
what my values are, then maybe, and that should be okay. In my opinion, that should be okay. If that's what my values are, then yes.
But that's what I'm saying. That but that's what I'm saying. So that should also be part of the conversation. That it's just like, this is what I'm stuck with here. I can't see outside of this box.
Yeah.
Or
in my opinion, that should be a part of the 50-50 conversation. Being like, part of my 50-50 is that you stay looking like this, or that you stay doing this thing, or that like this is consistent.
That's what I'm saying, because that's that big thing that it's just like women get pregnant and now their body's changing. It's like, oh, I can't be with her because her body, and it's just like, bro, you asked her for kids and now you mad that she looked like she
that's another conversation for another day.
So I'm just throwing that out there.
If we really wanted to talk about that, that's another conversation for another day, because baby clear. If you don't follow me already on Instagram, I am on Reptar_LoveJones2. R3PTAR_LOVEJONEZ2, and we are on YouTube, which is Dating with Reptar, and we're on Facebook at Dating with Reptar. Deuces.
Rugrat gang.